Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community and neighborhoods. And now from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning and welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. Even though we're heading into St. Patrick's Day weekend, Dorothy, I know a lot of people who are now finally, or at least hopefully, getting over their winter colds. I know people who have had sniffles and coughs and this and that this winter. It's been there are a lot of people with seemingly health issues. Mm-hmm. And we've had shows in the past where, we've said, there's a subculture of wellness in Moore County, and there is. But it's so misunderstood, and we're going to try today to get a point of view that is very refreshing, and we're going to be speaking with Debbie Spurlock. She's a naturopathic pharmacist. She's a biologist and a PharmD, and she has a practice/business in Southern Pines over in Ice House Square at 575 Southeast Broad Street. And I've known Debbie over the years, and a very good friend of mine, Greg Sasser, came in and we spoke, and we were talking about some real estate issues, and Debbie's name came up, and about some of the success and the testimonial that he gave to her, and it got Debbie and I together to talk a little bit, and we had a great meeting at her office, and there is Debbie. I want to say good morning and thanks for coming in.
Good morning.
And I want to say that, Nicola Squires, a friend, and she does a lot of our videotaping, has come in to join us, maybe just as a listener, but maybe as a participant, because we all will have some questions to talk to you about. People hear the word naturopathic, and people hear so much information with medical terms and non-medical terms, and there's a lot of confusion in the public about different disciplines. And I wanted you to just give us an overview first of what a naturopathic pharmacist is and what you do.
Okay.
And you have 30 seconds. No, you just take your time.
Okay. Well, as a pharmacist, I worked in the field, worked with the chemicals, dispensed prescriptions, counseled people about medications, and in the medical world and in the pharmaceutical world, herbal remedies and nutrients and minerals are not part of that. They're separate. And that's because of historical things with the FDA, and, pharmaceuticals are regulated, and supplements and herbs and nutrients are not. So the dividing line is between the two areas. And up until the last 20, 30 years, the pharmaceutical realm had precedence. It was king. It's how people, if you had an ailment, you needed a pill for the ill. You went to a doctor, you got a prescription. I watched that system for years.
Right.
And I did not ever see a single person healed of anything. In the world of pharmacy, you manage symptoms. And a symptom is diagnosed, not necessarily the ailment or the disease, but the symptom is diagnosed, and then it's named a certain disease,
right.
Whether it's diabetes, cardiovascular, whatever.
Right.
In the world of naturopathy, the treatments are the ancient ones, the old ones, and current still, things that grow out of the ground. And medicine and drugs are two separate things. I deal with natural medicine,
right,
which are nutrients and herbal remedies, minerals, foods. Food is medicine. We all know the ancient saying, you know.
Right, right.
So, a naturopathic pharmacist, after I worked in the world of pharmacy all of those years, I realized that this was, in my mind, this is a bogus method of healing. People are under the perception that they're going to go to their doctor, get diagnosed, get a prescription, and then they're going to be made better.
Right.
Many times people are disappointed. They're not made better. They have a side effect or they have an interaction. They go back to the doctor or their provider, whomever that may be. They get another prescription to deal with the side effects of the first prescription or the adverse reaction,
Right.
and now they have 2 medications.
Right.
Now they have double the adverse reactions or the side effects, and then they go back, and now they have another ailment or diagnosis. So maybe they originally started with an ear infection. Now they have a sinus infection. And things just keep piling up. So then you go from one doctor to the next. Now you go to your primary care who says now you need to go to the EENT. Or, you know, just any number of these things. Once you get in the pattern, and I watched this pattern for years. I saw people come in and get their first prescription, and I had pharmacy patients who came in, and literally they were on 18 pharmaceuticals, 18 prescription drugs,
Right.
maybe from 5 different or 6 different providers. And there were interactions, there were adverse events, but the patient didn't know how to deal with it. Who do I tell?
Right.
So I watched this for many years and then dealt with insurance, and I thought there has got to be a better way. This system is messed up.
You didn't mention all the marketing jingles on TV that show all these happy people marching together with
Yes.
with cute music about Ozempic or this or that, and how they get their A1C down, and it invades our everyday lives, that it's become almost like a subconscious message that just gets in our brain, and we don't know any better, or we don't question. You call it synthetic pharmaceuticals versus naturally grown herbs, and you talk about a creationist philosophy.
That is my philosophy in my office. So when I left the world of pharmacy, I maintain my license, and I stay current with research and new drugs that are coming out, and I read and try to understand the pharmacology of that. But those chemicals are not synergistic or matching the body, and those chemicals are designed to suppress a body function. And in my new path of understanding how the body functions, it is obvious that you cannot get healing with synthetic pharmaceuticals. You can manage symptoms,
Right.
and they do a fantastic job of managing symptoms. Those are the symptoms.
Right.
For blood pressure example, if your blood pressure is 180 over 110, by golly, you need to talk to your primary care provider.
Right.
If you're not going to figure out what to do to remedy that. That's very high blood pressure. It's dangerous.
Right.
So you're going to need some blood pressure medication. And with that, you need to understand that there will be side effects. And it will lower your blood pressure, but it will not bring it down to 120 over 80. But it's going to manage it to keep you clicking along. There's a whole group of people who have lost faith in the pharmaceutical industry and the medical community, and they feel like there's got to be a better way. So I have been very quiet, just tucked in my little corner over there in Ice House Square, and only by word of mouth do people come and see me.
Right.
And first and foremost, to help someone heal, which you're not allowed to say healing in the medical world, but if you want to heal your body, you can do that. And we start with fixing the gut and fixing your addictions and your environment and your sleep patterns and your routine.
What are some of the addictions that people have?
What do you think? Come on, number one.
Well, I would say sugar.
Absolutely.
Is that number one?
Yes.
You know, Greg told me he stopped taking sugar. I said, Greg, how can you not eat sugar? It's in so many foods. And what do you say to people like that? How do you stop eating sugar with our diet, what we can buy in the stores?
So, first, let's define sugar.
Okay.
Domino's, Dixie Crystal, all these 5-pound bags of white sugar sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
Those are void of nutrients, and they do not have any benefit in the body other than a dopamine rush and a burst of energy.
Right.
Now, your apples, bananas, blueberries, those have some natural sugars.
Okay.
Eat them. Enjoy them.
Okay.
And then learn to shift off of the processed foods and the sugars that are in there and the high fructose corn syrup. Oh, my word. That's a highly addictive chemical. So shifting that and learn to substitute with stevia or monk fruit or xylitol.
Okay.
And instead of having a Hershey bar with, whatever it is, 47 grams of sugar, I have no idea really.
Yes.
Might be 23, who knows. Get a Lily chocolate bar that has some stevia and xylitol in it, and then you'll only eat a quarter of the chocolate bar instead of 3 Hershey bars.
Right.
Because you can stop. You get satiated. You get satisfied with a little bit of chocolate. And then people go, oh, I'm addicted to chocolate. And I usually say, I bet you're not. I bet you're addicted to sugar.
One of the books that you posted in your website is called Gut. It's the inside story of our body's most underrated organ. You talk a lot about the digestive system and the gut and probiotics. Mm-hmm. I think what you say is that's where everything starts. Where disease is it disease
Yes,
starts
yes.
and then throws it out to the rest of your body?
All disease starts in the gut.
In the gut.
Mm-hmm.
So then we should have a show on nothing but diet.
Mm-hmm.
Just diet. And that would help a lot of people. But if you have somebody that's 25 and has some medical issues versus somebody, let's say, that's 60, do you treat them differently based on their age?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
So when someone comes in the office and they have their issue, they might come in to see me and see if they can get a path forward to heal their body. When they do, they usually tell me whatever they've been diagnosed with from their doctor.
Right.
And that doesn't really matter to me. It's important, yes, but it's not my focus. Because when we start, we have to get a foundation for the body to begin a recovery. And that's usually 180 degrees out from where they were. So, first and foremost, the number one question I ask everybody, do you eat breakfast? And 3/4 of my clients say, no, I'm in a hurry. Or, yes, I swing through restaurant A, B, or C. Or, no, I grab a granola bar. So we have to reestablish the patterns in a circadian rhythm. And the rule number one, and Greg may have told you this, and most of my clients laugh. Rule number one is never skip breakfast.
Okay.
Rule number 2 is don't skip breakfast. And rule number 3 is always eat breakfast.
Okay.
So just by doing that, it is stunning how many people begin to heal their body. And then their afternoon fatigue is gone.
Just by eating breakfast.
Just by eating breakfast. A healthy breakfast. Now, what is breakfast?
Yeah.
So I go according to blood type. But a healthy breakfast has to do with foods. Did your great grandma ever eat a Pop-Tart for breakfast?
That's such a highly processed food.
Right.
Okay. No.
Okay. So if people say, I grab a Pop-Tart on my way to work, and I don't feel good in the afternoon, and I eat my granola bar at lunch, and I am so tired at 1 o'clock I can't function. And my muscles hurt, and I have this fatigue. And then I've been diagnosed with whatever, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, lupus, who cares?
Right.
And so these people are living so far out of the boundaries.
Yep.
Well, as you said, I have a creationist philosophy.
Right.
In a creationist philosophy, the body is designed to heal itself. I'm not an evolutionist. But my whole medical education, from biology and pharmacy, all the chemistry, those have a tone of evolution. And then in the medical community, it's all about genetics. And so it's this evolution-based process. I don't believe that. I am a creationist. I think you are divinely designed. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are designed to heal. So in a creationist philosophy, we are created in the image of God. We're a body, a soul, and a spirit. And with that, we can heal. If you can get sick, then you can heal.
Okay.
So if you're diagnosed with cancer, diabetes, heart disease, asthma, allergies, whatever and whatever on down the line, if you can get sick, you can heal. But for the folks who have a diagnosis and they're good with it and they manage their symptoms, I'm not their one-stop shop.
Okay.
But if you are looking to heal and you want to understand a creationist philosophy,
Right.
then you live in a circadian rhythm and you eat whole foods.
Okay.
Because there are things that do not digest in you.
Okay.
And plastics will not digest.
Right.
And some of these chemical dyes and food enhancers and all of this. And if you're eating those, then you should expect to be sick.
We're going to come back in the second set. Dorothy, we need an extra hour for the show, number one. Number two, when we come back, I want to talk to Nicola for a minute because when I sat and spoke with Debbie, I was bragging to her about my morning shake and all the good things I put into it. She rolled her eyes at me. We're going to come back and talk about that and why. This is All Things Moore County. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our second set. Our guest is Debbie Spurlock. She's a naturopathic pharmacist and a biologist. I mentioned Nicola Squires was here with us, and as much as you're a good listener, I also wanted to tell you I was bragging to Debbie yesterday about the integrity of my protein shakes, saying, I have all these chia seeds and lemons and protein shakes and green supplements that I mix with fruit and ginger, and that's what I have in the morning. That's my breakfast.
Yeah.
And she looked at me and she goes, "You're wasting your time."
I know. I'd love to hear about this because we do that at our house as well, and I am
Have you-
very curious.
Have you gone on Amazon
About-
and typed in protein powder? Yeah, 100 different selections.
Yes.
Yesterday I was in Whole Foods, and I took this picture, which I'm going to send you. It looks like candy in a candy store, and I don't know what half of the stuff meant.
Yeah.
But it
It's
was
too much choice.
All marketing.
Yeah.
So we're not a big fan of the protein shakes, and I want to talk a little bit about that, and I want to also talk to you about the type of testing you do when you have somebody come in for the first time.
So tell me why you thought you needed a protein shake.
Because it gave me the minerals, the probiotics, the vitamins, and it fills you up. And I thought instead of eating, I wouldn't eat a Pop-Tart, but I would have eggs in the morning. But sometimes it's a time thing as well. And if I think I'm flooding my body with good things in the morning, I'm off to a good start. And I try so hard to buy good stuff. I bought moringa powder, magnesium supplements, and I pour it all in capsules. I don't put the capsules in. I open them and I put the powder in. I mix it all up, and I think I'm doing myself a good thing. And I guess I'm not thinking that anymore, huh?
Well, I think the quote was whenever you said, I start my day with a protein shake,
Yeah.
my comment to you was, I'm pretty sure if you have teeth, you're supposed to chew. And if God wanted you to have a shake and call that breakfast, he would have had Moses come down off of the mount with the 10 Commandments in one arm and a Vitamix in the other for your good health.
So my NutriBullet was a waste
Oh.
of money.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay. But you're right.
Yes.
We're a natural juicer. We don't need a juicing machine because you chew and you secrete and you digest. So we are our own natural juicer. But all those things that I'm putting in my system in the morning, I thought, some of it's got to like stick. But probably not. Huh?
Why do you need more protein? Do you not eat meat?
I love meat.
Oh, okay. And are you missing meals? Are you
No.
losing weight?
No.
Why? Where did the idea come from that you need more protein?
I think from overcompensating, maybe not the most healthy life up to this point. I said, now I'll try to play catch up, and I'll just drown myself with good stuff and hope some of it helps me. I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay. So the good idea fairy came to visit you.
Right.
All right. And
They come every Wednesday.
But I think out in the world too, I feel like it's been pushed. You need more protein. You need more protein.
Yeah,
that
that's
has
the
been,
marketing fairy.
like the biggest, like the protein bars with the 20 grams of this,
Right,
or
right.
the shakes. For me, I know I do it because it's easier for my kids to have the vegetables and the things that they necessarily wouldn't eat for them to drink it.
See her,
I know.
see her quiet confidence.
sorry.
She's like she knows more than we do, right?
Yes.
But she's not bragging about it. It's just a quiet confidence that she has.
so before the 90s, the FDA left all of the supplements and the naturopathic remedies alone because they were not patented. And coming forward, the FDA has gotten very interested in all of the natural remedies. And now,
They want a piece of the action.
absolutely. So previous, before the 80s and maybe even into the 90s, you would go to your medical provider and you would say, oh, I'm taking this vitamin and I'm taking this nutrient and that. And your provider learned in med school to look at you and say, well, you're just making expensive urine.
I've heard that.
Okay.
I've heard that.
You're just peeing out all of those minerals and that's a waste of money. But here's your blood pressure medicine and that's going to help you. Anyway, all of that has shifted. So there were all of these cottage industries making supplements. And over here at Nature's Own, Karen is phenomenal. She carries some really good supplements.
Right.
And she had the corner on the market. But yet the FDA was going, oh, well, we just don't really know if those are legit. You might be selling snake oil. We must investigate that. So laws have been enacted and legislation. So they're trying to remove our availability from the cottage industries and the mom and pop shops who were making supplements. But now when you look at a supplement, what does it say? Oh, pharmaceutical grade, tested.
Yep.
And then you turn it around and it has a proprietary blend in it. And you don't even know what's in some of those proprietary blends. So they put it back under so they can patent what they're marketing. Whenever you would watch some of the news shows in the evening, 2 or 3 years ago, what did we have? We had something called monoclonal antibodies for eczema, allergies, any type of skin rash or whatever. And then you had maybe some blood pressure medicine or something for diabetes. Those were your commercials. Now, you watch those evening news shows, and the commercials are about this supplement and that supplement, and they're getting in the lane because a lot of the pharmaceutical companies know that their stuff does not
Right.
work.
Right.
It does not heal the body. It may lower cholesterol by 10%. Well, if you're at 300 cholesterol, lowering it to 270, you really don't have much of a difference there. But you have some back pain and foot and leg pain from it. And if you start looking at this, why are the pharmaceutical companies now buying up all of these natural remedy supplement companies?
Trying to get a piece of the puzzle, the market, and corner the market. It's all about money. It's an indictment on Western medicine, isn't it?
It is. So
But-
now let's go back to your shake.
Yeah. So I'm brainwashed. Okay.
We all are, yes.
Protein is, for the layperson, protein comes from meat. And so eat your chicken or your steak or whatever. When you turn over the label and it says you have pea protein in this shake, surely you scratch your head and go, wow, I thought the protein would be a muscle source from an animal.
A whey protein. Is that what it's called?
Some of it.
Okay.
But why do you need extra magnesium? You say, so I had magnesium, and then I do this, and I have that.
Why do I need extra magnesium?
Because the commercial told you so.
I had a deficiency in magnesium. I had a D3 deficiency, and with some of the vascular issues that I have, they said magnesium would be very good to offset that.
So where did your vascular issues come from?
I was a smoker, a lifelong, my habits, I guess. I mean, I don't drink alcohol. I drink coffee, and I've been a smoker most of my life, and I think that's where it came from.
Okay. So
I'm going to allow myself to be recruited, I think. I think.
It's just hard to tell a difference with all of those things out there, and knowing how do you know what to choose is the right thing.
people will watch, Dr. Oz when he had his show. And they would discuss the different topics and tell you how good Ossia berry was.
Yeah.
Well, then everybody would go buy it.
Uh-huh.
They would consume it for a week or two,
Yeah.
and then sit it on the shelf.
Uh-huh.
And I have had clients come into me and come into my office and talk with me, and literally they have carried bags in with them of supplements, like 2 grocery store size bags full of supplements.
Right.
And my comment is, well, obviously you know something's wrong, and obviously you're trying to fix it. And that's good, because you're wanting to take responsibility for it.
Right.
So let's do some testing. Let's go through these and look at it, and, look at the chemistry, look at your blood, and come up with a plan. And maybe we could whittle this down to, if you've got 30, maybe we could whittle this down to 6.
Right.
But we can't do any of that. And all of those supplements are not going to do you one bit of good unless you change the foundational things in your body. And you have to start digesting. And that's first and foremost.
Okay.
And you can't digest unless you're eating good, clean foods
Right.
and you're eating in a routine and a schedule.
Okay.
And then hydrate.
We're going to, in the next set, I want to come back and talk to you about your testing regimen. You talk about blood testing, urine testing, eye testing, and saliva pH testing, and hair mineral analysis. So let's pretend we come back in the next set and somebody walks into your office and you want to start from scratch with them. I want to go through that process, if that's good with you.
Okay, sure.
Debbie Spurlock is our guest. She's a naturopathic pharmacist, and we will be back and listen to her, and we'll talk about magnetic pulsing as well. Health is Wealth Management is the name of the business. This is All Things Moore County. Welcome back to our third set. Our guest is Debbie Spurlock. Health is Wealth Management is her business, her practice in Ice House Square in Southern Pines. At this point, I want to ask you, if somebody were listening to the show, I feel like what you're talking about is very compelling. If they want to come in and sit down with you, what does that look like for someone on a first visit? In terms of what you propose to do with them in terms of testing?
Well, I have a terrific office manager.
Right.
She absolutely is my right hand.
Okay.
This gal joined my practice in 2016, and if I lose her, then I'll probably close my business because she's that good.
And you're only open 3 days a week, I think?
Yes.
Okay, that's important for people to know.
Yes. So, first of all, you would call my office manager, Tracy.
Okay.
And she would work to get you on the schedule. And you would plan for a 2.5-hour appointment on the first time.
Nicola and I may come at the same time. Okay.
I don't think I could handle it, but we would work through it. So, but Tracy wouldn't let you.
Okay.
Tracy sets the schedule. She runs the office.
Okay.
And so calling her would be the first step, getting on the schedule. And you come in, you're going to fill out our paperwork, which is minimal. But in my paperwork, I specifically tell you that I do not diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, because you're walking into a creationist philosophy. And as a Christian, I follow those tenets of creationism, and I believe the body is designed to heal itself, as I've already said. So your intake form is not, how many heart attacks has your grandma had? Nothing like that. Because I'm not looking for genetics. So you're going to do a 2-hour fast before you show up, and when you get there, you collect a urine sample. And we do some chemistry with the urine sample. Then she will get a blood pressure. We also get some blood out of your finger because I put that on the stage of my microscope, and then you'll get to see your blood on my computer monitor. And we look at that and we look for patterns. I don't diagnose a disease. I just say, hey, these red blood cells look this way or that, and you get to look around in your blood and see what's going on. And it is beautiful because, see, in the creationist philosophy, life is in the blood, and clean blood equals good health. We also take pictures of your iris, and we look at the eyes, and that does not diagnose a disease. That is simply a way of looking at patterns in the eyes. And if you have ever considered iridology or studied it in any form, you'll see that certain areas of the eyes relate to certain patterns in the body. So we look at that. And so looking at the chemistry from the urine, the blood out of your finger, and looking at the eyes, then looking at, if you bring me labs from your medical doctor, we look at them and we can talk about them and talk about whatever what EGFR, your kidney output, and just whatever you have in the labs.
Okay.
And then we go over that, and I find out what you want to do. So if you are at a point in your life and you want to take responsibility for your health, because if what you're doing isn't working with, your blood pressure meds and your cholesterol med and your diabetes meds and your skin rash meds and anxiolytics and antidepressants, and don't forget your flu shot, all of that isn't working, then I am of a totally different mindset. So when you come into my office, I can counsel you on all of your pharmaceuticals, but I don't prescribe, and I do not diagnose.
Okay.
We look at this body from a creationist philosophy. You are a whole being.
Okay.
You are a body, a soul, and a spirit. And we look at how one thing affects the next. So in in the pharmaceutical and the medical community, if you have a blood issue, you go to the hematologist. If you have a heart issue, the cardiologist. If you have, swelling in your joints, the rheumatologist. And all of the ologists go on, and they separate everything.
That's right. It's not integrative.
Don't get me started on that word.
Well, but it's not. I mean, I know because I see different physicians. Everyone micromanages their department and not the body as a whole. That's my feeling. I'm saying
That's true.
it, not you.
So that then goes back to, I would have these people show up at the pharmacy counter, and they come in with 3 different, to pick up medications from 3 different providers, and they have conflicts, they have interactions, or
Yep.
the person is going, my legs hurt and I'm tired, and my other doctor gave me this because my legs hurt, and my other doctor gave
That's
me
right.
this. And
That's right.
so in this philosophy, we look at these medications and we look for the root cause of your symptom. You cannot give a supplement to nourish and medicate a side effect. Okay, did you catch that?
Yes.
You cannot medicate with another pharmaceutical, or there is no supplement that is going to take your side effect away.
Right.
Because as long as you're taking the pharmaceutical, the synthetic drug, the side effect happens every time you take the drug. Okay? If you're taking statins and you're saying my legs hurt,
Yep.
then you're going to have legs hurting all the time while you're on the statin. But if you come off of the statin and your legs no longer hurt, then you have cause and effect. You see what the result was. If you're taking a statin and you go to someone else and they go, it looks like your blood flow is restricted, or you have a myalgia, your legs hurt, whatever,
Right.
you get another drug. So maybe now you have a muscle relaxer or something. Who knows? Whatever they prescribe. If you want to halt that cycle of the hamster on the wheel and trying to figure out what's wrong, my philosophy is a creationist philosophy, which is logic. Is it logical that you have a hormone issue and you're taking cholesterol meds and you're getting hormones and you're also trying to lower your cholesterol, when cholesterol is the beginning building block for all hormones? So understanding the pathways and the systems of the body, and they're connected. And in a creationist philosophy, we don't separate out the rheumatoid arthritis in your fingers from the constipation where you poop once every 3 times a week.
Okay.
If that's your situation, I'm pretty sure you don't feel good.
We live in a time where so many people have ailments and they are looking for relief, but the marketing machines that are out there, so much of it is subconscious. We all want quick fixes, and all the advertising is about take this specific supplement or do this or do that, and you'll feel almost instantly better. Take a pill and feel better. That's how we're conditioned. And we're all brainwashed, and that's what I'm getting from in between the lines. But what you're trying to do is to walk away from that social media marketing machine and take people back to a time maybe where our ancestors were treated differently than they are
Okay, well,
today.
first of all, I love my refrigerator.
Okay.
And so going back to some holistic ways
Yeah.
doesn't mean running around barefooted and eating granola and having to climb the apple tree to get an apple.
Okay.
So there is a balance, but our modern ways are killing us. So you need to sleep at night. Your body goes through a repair cycle at night. And if you're up at midnight, 1, 2 a.m., with the blue lights of the computer flashing in your face, your body is not repairing. And you're going to suffer the consequences of that the next day, or as it compiles, it will take its toll over time. So weeks of that. And then sleeping, being so tired and sleeping in, and then running out the door to work, chasing your tail, and trying to drink a cup of coffee as you drive without eating,
Right.
you have messed up the cycle. And right there, the whole cycle is the foundation of how the body functions in a day. If you live in a circadian rhythm and you function in the cycle, and sleeping and wake hours and activity, and then gearing down in the evening, if you're in that cycle, then you will repair.
Okay. I have a. We're wrapping up, unfortunately, but I have a couple of observations. I completely see that you are about helping others. It shouldn't be called a business. It should be called a practice, because you seem passionately concerned for other people's well-being. And so that's a distinction that I think needs to be made. You only work 3 days a week at your practice, so your time is limited, but you're highly disciplined, and you're very passionate, and you have a ton of conviction about your beliefs, and they are compelling. Your business is called Health is Wealth Management. I have a lot of respect for Greg, and I really was taken by his overview of his experiences with you, and I have to thank him because he helped us put this show together. You're located in Icehouse Square, not too far from Vito's and the train
right.
tracks, at 575 Southeast Broad Street. And I think that for a lot of people, there could be a freedom in the kind of conversation you may want to have with them, and open up possibilities that I think some people don't even realize they exist today.
True.
Your website is naturalhealthmgmt.com. naturalhealthshortmanagement.com. So people can go and look at your website, and a lot of it is very intuitive. It just takes a few minutes to look through it. What have I missed?
We didn't even talk about the pulse machine. But
Right.
I have magnetic pulse.
I'm bringing my right knee to you.
Okay.
From the magnetic pulsing
I
machine.
think you'll be very surprised,
I'm-
pleasantly
I
surprised.
might follow you back to your practice after we get off the air. We're going to put that on my right knee because they give me steroids, and immediately I get relief. The swelling goes down, but I know how bad steroids are for you. So, can I take the machine home with me and use
No.
it over? No?
But you can sure come to the office.
I'm going to do it.
Surely come in.
We're gonna just continue our conversation. Debbie Spurlock, thank you so much for coming and talking to us. And Nicola, I'm so glad you came.
Thank you, Bill.
You and I have had health conversations in the last couple of months, and that's why I wanted you to come in to listen. And I think that a lot of food for thought. Huh?
Yes, absolutely.
This has been great. Thank you so much, Bill.
Thank you, Debbie. This is All Things Moore County. We'll see you next week. Thank you.